Hi, Guido Fox here. Welkom bij een nieuw spiritual book report. Today I want to talk with you about the autobiography from Osho, the incorrect spiritual leader, mystic. And I want to talk about his views and also a little bit where he was coming from. I think that it's very important where he came from his youth, to know how his vision was worked out in all his books. You have a very clear, meditative, spiritual, enlightened vision about society, about inner revolution, but it is very interesting where this vision was born. Where was the seed? Where was the seed of this kind of mission, vision, what Osho had? Very interesting pages on the start with his youth. We are also going to discuss the Rolls-Royce, the 93 Rolls-Royce cars he got from his followers, and he accepted the present, why he did that, and what was the reason why that becomes so popular. Because everyone who talks about Osho, or I say to people, I read Osho, everyone the same. I know him from his 93 Rolls-Royce, or I know him from his controversial Wild Wild West documentary. And both answers I give always, I don't know. I'm not interested in that documentary. I'm not interested in those 93 Rolls-Royce. I am interested in enlightenment, in enlightened stages. I'm interested in the field work, the groundwork in his books. I'm interested in what kind of energy field Osho had. That is more interesting, I think, than talk about his Rolls-Royce or about the documentary. What I think is very tendentious, very flat and low by the ground. But I'm more interested in the thick books he wrote, and to read the groundwork, bronwerk in Dutch. That is much more interesting than going with crowd, mass, hysteria. First, on page 4, very interesting, and sometimes I want to read from the book to you because I cannot explain it more clearly than saying it or summarize it to you. So I would like to read it from the book to you and you can listen. There was no school, no road, no railway, no post office. What a blessing. No school, no roads, no railway, no post office. What a blessing. That small village where he lived was a world unto itself. Even in my times away from that village, I remained in that world, uneducated. Uneducated. And this is very interesting. No school, no uneducated. That means that you lived very close by nature. And I have come across millions of people, but the people of that village were more innocent, calm, and peaceful than any because they were very, very primitive. And here you see his view about civilization and what we are doing to children, to lock them up in school systems, to not learn to live more close by nature. We make them hard, we make them educated, yes, but educated in what kind of perspective? We learn them reading, writing, mathematics, but do we learn them social skills? Do we learn them meditative skills? Do we learn them love skills? Right? They know nothing of the world. Not even a single newspaper had ever entered that village. So no mass media into that small village in India. No indoctrination. You can now understand why there was no school. Not even a primary school. What a blessing. No modern child can ever afford it. It's a very interesting last sentence. No modern child can afford it to not go to a primary school. Think about that. What is the best for your child? What is the best for your children? Is it school system, private school, private teaching, one-to-one? Maybe is that much more better for children to concentrate and to learn? And of course they can play with other friends or children outside, in the parks, on the streets. But is this system with school systems efficient? Is it right to do that, to let children grow up in fixed systems where social skills or love skills or meditative skills are not given? Maybe it's private teaching better. But here you see that Osho was going astray, his vision from so-called civilization, that we are actually not making peaceful persons. If you see how many crimes, violence, weapons, we need to lock up people in prisons. We didn't see that in small group dynamics of people who living much more closer by the jungle, by the nature. So I think we have to be more critical there as so-called civilized people. If we doing it the right way, because where you come from is very important where you go to. About his father, he enjoyed creating a garden, creating a farm, and he loved to live there in the open air. Dus naar buiten, garden, farm, between the animals. He hated the city. He hated the city. And I also prefer to live close by nature and to live close by trees and to live close by water. It's much more better for persons, I think, to live closer by nature and stay by nature also in psychotic way, in mentally way, closer by nature. I think that is very important to reach higher levels of spiritual enlightened stages. I am wild, page 8. I am wild, Osho is wild, I will remain wild. Somehow I remained out of the grip of civilization. And that is very interesting what he's saying here, that you had to step out of the grip of civilization if you want to become ecstatic happy. If you want to become ecstatic happy, you have to step out of the grip of civilization or of all those systems, all those social systems. You have to step out and be free, because in freedom you can grow and you can step out of that destructive, negative, stressful energy levels of the crowd, of the normal people. You have to step out. And that is what Jesus also was saying in the Johannes Evangelie and other texts is going astray. Going astray means step out of the small systems and start for yourself. Doing something for yourself what you really like, and do it alone. With others who can support you, of course, but everyone has his own core. It's a little bit career coaching, life path coaching, but step out and grow. Don't become part of systems who can drag you down. Then your spiritual levels become higher. But this is about his youth. This is about the youth of Osho, where he came from, and he saw a lot of innocent, lovable people who lived in more small communities and lived closer by nature, and they were much more peaceful than people from the city. And that gives me also a more mirror as a now city guy. I lived before by a lake, very wonderful. I hope that I can go back there. But to get clients here, it's more easily to have public transport. But who knows in the future that I want to go back to nature, by lake and by peace. I think that's also the right place for me to be. Other subject, everyone calls Osho the sex guru, and that is also something what society dictates. You've read only one book about sex. Osho wrote one book of 50, 60, 70 books about sex to superconsciousness, and everyone is talking about that book. And that is very hypocritical, because that shows And there he writes about that sex is repressed. Sex is repressed in civilization. Closed systems, monogam is the norm, and in relationship is monogamy the norm, and you're not allowed to go behind and you going sneaky with another girl or guy, try to hide it, you go to prostitutes. So we are suppressing our real feelings, and sex is repressed. And then what happens is that we're going to watch porn or you're going to read about sex. So if your sex is repressed, then you go watching porn, or then you go, oh, I want to have the book about sex. And you see it also by my videos. I make 2 videos about sex, and that videos is 6 to 10 times more watched than the videos where it goes about enlightenment or ego mechanisms or consciousness levels. So that's very funny to see. That shows actually the repression of society. Nobody seems to read any other book than Sex to Superconsciousness. If I have only written one book, people are suffering from a wound. Sex has become a wound. It needs to be healed. It needs to be healed. Page 232. Rock, jazz, and other music that is chaotic in a way also helps something come out. And that something is repressed sexuality. So people go on dancing, jazz, hard music to outen their sexual repression. So what you see is dance events is nothing else than een afgeleide, dan een subversion from missing more sex in your life. It's an escapism. It's the same as a woman from 1617 is going to play with a horse, but she really wants to have a child. Same systematic. So we're going dancing out, drinking alcohol, taking drugs, jazz, rock, other music. We're talking about the 80s in his books because we are sexually repressed. So there always outcome from wounds there. And then he say on page 134, addiction is not bad. If it's raising up your consciousness, if you do it with conscious, then addiction is not bad. So sexual addiction is not bad. Touching each other is not bad. Making love together is not bad. Sexual repression is more bad. You have to be free of suppressions. Free of every suppression. And do it with fully consciousness. Then is addiction not really bad. But drugs is lowering your consciousness. Alcohol is lowering your consciousness. So addictions are not always bad. So that is very important to understand, that we live in a sexual repressed society where we holding a ball of negativity, of frustration into ourselves as women and also as men who can come out in war times. So I see a lot of guys in the street who have an unhappy sex life, who are repressed. Women are repressed by society, by the father and mother role. You have to find one guy and do it with him all your life or several times. So there is family pressure also in your sexual being, and then you're not able to flow, then you hold yourself in all your life, and when you hold yourself in, then angriness of negativity you're putting on your husband, or you're putting it on your boss or your colleagues. So every suppression into your system reach other persons, and you throw trash on that person because you're sexually repressed. 70% of all the mental diseases, depressions, stress, burnouts can be solved with sexuality, with touching, with love, with familiarity, and can also be solved if we are not so sexual repressed. Next subject is the sex guru that shows only the hypocrisy of society to put them a label on them, right? So all the society is angry because they're not free in their sexuality, they have a marriage or something, and then everything will throw on him the angriness and the fear around that. On page 142 and 137, that is very interesting. There we're going to talk about his Rolls-Royce. I want the world to know that we have 1903 Rolls-Royce, because that is the only way to make any bridge. So he accepted the presents from his followers. He said, okay, it's fine. I combine spirituality with materialism, and we can make a bridge. And then I can talk about true and enlightenment on the side. Without Rolls-Royce, there is no communication at all. So he accepted the Rolls-Royces to make a bridge. I know my business perfectly well. So what you saw that whole America, where the people are not interested in meditation, are not interested in enlightenment, suddenly know this guy. The governments were jealous, the president of America were jealous of his Rolls-Royce. So it was a mirror. He created a mirror to people. Look how materialistic you are, guys, that you only can talk about this Rolls-Royce. Rolls-Royces. It shows the materialistic, egocentric world. You are materialistic, guys. You only come to listen to me because I have 33 Rolls-Royce. I don't take care if someone has 10 houses, 100 houses, 33 Rolls-Royces, 2 Ferraris. I don't take care. I go to someone because he is enlightened. He has special energy. He's a lovable person. He's compassionate. That's where I go for. I'm not going there because someone has materialistic wealth. Come on. But people work on that way. People are sheeps. People are sheeps. And they're going full for materialistic success. If you show your wealth, people are thinking you are somebody. I was teaching meditation to thousands of people. America was not interested in it. Thousands of people were coming to the commune. America was not interested in it. Each festival, there were 20,000 people coming from all over the world. America was not interested in it. The whole news was constantly talking about the 93 Rolls-Royces. I don't need 93 Rolls-Royces. It was a practical joke to create a bridge with the normal people who lived and live in an egocentric, materialistic world. So he showed them a mirror. He showed them a mirror. For you guys, you're not interested in meditation? Okay, I show my wealth. I will go into your level and try to reach you. And then you come by me because I have some wealth. Very smart, right? Very smart. Sitting in a Rolls-Royce, I have been a meditative person. You can become enlightened in a Rolls-Royce. Spirituality and materialism can be combined. It is all balance. It's all balance. In fact, sitting in a Bulldog car, it is very difficult to be meditative. Rolls-Royces are the best for spiritual growth. Not reject materialism. Love materialism. Love what you're buying. Love where you live. Love traveling. Love clothing where you walk in. Go for quality. Don't be ashamed. Don't feel guilty. Enjoy materialism, but enjoy it full with conscience. Enjoy it full with conscience. That is so important, to do it fully awake. Thank you for watching my book report about Osho, the Autobiography. And I see you the next book report. Hi.